Yesterday afternoon and last night and this morning, it's been a little bit of an emotional roller coaster, I think I can say. Good morning internet, it is 8:30 in the morning and welcome back to the channel. In this video I am going to record how it is like to be isolated in a small town in Peru for 15 days due to coronavirus. So if you are looking for a travel video or a motorcycle video, then please stop watching because you might find this very boring. But I decided to record this just for myself, kind of as a video diary. This is my prison. So this is where I'm spending 15 days in this room. Half an hour ago they started the lockdown at 8 o'clock this morning. As you can see, there are still people outside and dogs. You're still allowed to go outside to buy groceries or go to the pharmacy. Yesterday I managed to buy mouth masks. Look how cute they are. Cute, right? I have little dogs on my mouth mask, look. Yeah. I was surprised that I could buy them still, because in Bolivia I was already looking for them and they were just sold out everywhere. But here in this town they still have the cute little dog mouth masks. So let me show you where I am in Peru. So I came from Bolivia, I was in La Paz, then I hurried across the border here, went to Puno, went to Lake Titicaca, and now I am somewhere here in this area, still on the Altiplano. I'm still at high altitude in a small town called Lampa. I am leaving the house, or the hostel, guest house, rocking my doggy mask. As you can see, it's quite quiet on the street. There are still some people on bikes, but in general it's quite quiet. So let's see if I can just walk out of town. I just need to stretch my legs. See, this is the church again. But I think this is good. I can just quickly make my way out of the town without encountering anyone. Nobody here. I'm already outside the town because it's tiny. So now I can take the mask off as well, because there are no people here. I need to walk up there. There's a Christ statue. Made it to the top. There's Jesus. And this is the view, look. So as you can see, I have plenty opportunity to escape town in the afternoons. There's absolutely nobody around here, so it's all safe. Amazing, look. See the church? So I'm staying just behind the church over there. This is day number 3. Latest news is that since last night there is also an evening clock. So that means after 8 o'clock at night until 5 in the morning everybody has to remain inside. Following the news obviously, and all around the world it's still getting worse and worse. So let's see what happens. This is day number 4 here in quarantine. It's a little bit lonely, of course. I'm not speaking to anybody except online, and if I WhatsApp calling, I can speak to my friends or family, but in real life or like face to face with people, I have zero contact. The owners of the guest house, they call me that food is ready. Then I go downstairs, I eat by myself. They put food down, I eat by myself, and then I wave to them through the hallway and say thank you, and then that's it. So I'm not speaking to them either. They keep their distance, which is good, of course. But yeah. So I walked up to the Christ statue again, and I was thinking, let's call my parents and see what is the status in the Netherlands at the moment.
Hallo, goedemiddag Noor.
Hoi! Hoe is die?
Is het? Wat? Ja, met ons gaat het goed.
Nou, mooi. Ik dacht
En hoe is het met jou?
Ja, goed. Ik dacht, ik bel even. En er zijn nog een paar duizend mensen die meeluisteren.
Oh, wat bedoel je?
Ik ben aan het opnemen.
Oh, oké. Wat kan ik nog wel zeggen en wat nog niet?
Doe maar gewoon normaal, dat doe je al gek genoeg.
Oké, nou is duidelijk. Okay.
Nee hoor, grapje. Nee, hoe gaat ie daar?
Nee, maar... Nou ja, het gaat ja, wij hebben gelukkig helemaal niks nog en het gaat gewoon goed.
Ja.
Ben je er nog?
Ja, ik ben er nog.
Oh, ik ga net aan mijn hele stichtelijke afscheids... Wees verstandig en doe voorzichtig en nou fijn. Nee, we slaan er gewoon over.
Is goed, oké.
Hey, lief, hartstikke fijn dat we je gesproken hebben en een goed weekend in ieder geval. En ik hoop dat je het nog een beetje volhoudt.
Ja, komt helemaal goed. Jullie ook, hè?
En je belt me gauw weer, hè?
Ja, dat zal ik doen. Oké, doei. 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 So, that was that. All is good with my parents, so that's good to hear. My family is all fine, so I see some rain coming over there. Ooh. So I'm just gonna go walk back and then spend the rest of the afternoon inside my room. This is day number 5. I'm starting to think more and more that it's probably not gonna stay with these 15 days. I should prepare myself that it will be extended and that maybe I will be 1 month stuck in here. This moment I think maybe even the biggest problem for me, and that is that in some countries foreigners, especially European looking people, are obviously viewed with a lot of suspicion or even anger. There is just so much fear and people need somebody to blame. I am a little worried that if Corona gets here into town and I am the only foreigner in town, it might become a little bit unsafe for me here. I mean, I'm not in contact with anyone, but if somebody else brings Corona to this town, I think it's likely that people will blame me for it. This is day number 6. Latest news here in Peru is that as of tonight, all the border is closed, what they say, permanently. I don't know exactly what that means. So this was quite an eventful morning. Where to begin? I went out for my normal walk and I was almost out of town, and then a motorcycle with 3 police officers on it, and they said, "What are you doing here?" So I said, "I'm just walking." Then they escorted me back to my guest house. I had to show them my passport to kind of prove to them that I have been in South America for many months. I didn't just come from Europe or anything like that. After picking up the passport, they brought me to the local hospital here because they wanted to do a corona test. And I actually thought, great idea, because if I can prove that I'm not infected and I test negative, that will be good for me, because if something happens in this village, everybody is going to look at me, of course, and then if I can show, but look, it didn't come from me, I don't know, it's kind of like a personal safety thing, I guess. But then in the hospital they said, we don't have tests here at all. So you have to go to Juliaca, which is the next town, which is 30 kilometers from here or something. But then again, traveling is not allowed. So I said, what do you want me to do? I am more than willing to go there to do the test, to show that I am not infected. But then they were like, no, okay, never mind. And then they brought me to the police office and they took down my details. Okay, so today's events did not stop yet. I was just called by the owner, you have to come down. So I go down and so there's 2 people from the hospital in the blue suits with the whole, protection and everything. I couldn't fully understand why they came. I think it's because the police took me to the hospital to do a check. And now they came because they were worried that I came to the hospital because I'm sick. Even though I thought we clearly mentioned that I didn't have any symptoms anyway. So they asked me a bunch of questions. How long was I in Peru? Where was I before? So I tried to explain again. Look, before I came to Peru, I was 1 month in Bolivia. And before that, I was many months in Chile and Argentina. I have not been to Europe. Then they took my temperature a couple of times and they were like, no, nothing wrong. People are really worried that I am bringing the virus to their town, which is of course understandable. So I decided that this means the end of my walks. I will have to stay inside. This is day number 7. So latest updates. Last night, again, big knock on the door and somebody from the hospital was standing on the outside bringing me some more mouth masks, or well, at least 1 proper one and 2 smaller ones. But then the situation is changing a little bit. Yesterday, when the police was escorting me to the hospital and then to the police station, people on the street have been taking pictures of that. And people also took pictures when the 2 hospital people were standing outside the guest house to take my temperature. And they posted these pictures on a local Facebook group of the town, and with the text that there was literally a foreigner in Lampa and that the Ministry of Health was investigating the situation and whether we are at risk for coronavirus. And there were quite some, angry emojis that people placed there. To me, that was not a good sign. It shows, and also the hospital people said that, everybody in town now knows that I'm here. Most people are afraid or even angry. Locally, the locals move around quite a bit. Part of the police force that is now here came from Arequipa, they told me. And in Arequipa, there are cases of corona. So if it comes here, it can be anybody who brought it here. But obviously, everybody's gonna look at me. I don't feel super safer anymore. Obviously, I'm not going to go outside anymore. I'm not going to show my face on the street. I will stay inside. This is the first time ever in any of my travels that people are afraid of me and people see me as a threat. That's something that I have never experienced before. I can tell you it's not a nice situation to be in. Again, I don't blame anyone. I think it's a very natural human reaction in times of fear. So yeah, I'm trying to get out of here, but at this moment I can't go anywhere. So I'm now quite a few hours later. I kind of felt like I was running some sort of crisis center or something. I've been on the phone almost the entire morning. I've talked a lot with the embassy. We talked about the situation. I might not be so safe here anymore in town because everybody is very afraid that I have coronavirus. Did I already say that this morning 2 people from the Ministry of Health came here as well to see me, again in suits? I have to say, big thumbs up for the Dutch embassy. They have been responding immediately after I reached out to them. And they're staying in touch, and they've been really doing a great job. The problem is they can't do so much because everything is in lockdown and in quarantine. Then we talked about another solution, and that was trying to get me to Juliaca, 30 kilometers from here, to a safe place where I can just wait it out, leave Lampa so that things can calm down here again, and nobody would know that I'm in Juliaca, and wait it out there. So I packed all my stuff, I prepared the no, everything was ready, and I was kind of waiting for the phone call. And then I received a call that they're not getting the permission to move me, so I have to stay here. So that was bad news in that sense that I just can't go anywhere. So I'm now in contact with the chief of police. They are aware there's a lot more police here in the street as well. They are aware of the situation, and they told me they will help me wherever they can. Then the embassy also called the mayor of town. Yeah, he apologized for the behavior of the people, but I said, look, it's totally understandable. I'm not blaming anyone for this, but I just don't feel safe anymore. Then he said every morning here at 7 a.m. they announce the local news, and he said that tomorrow morning 7 a.m. he's going to announce on the radio that I am not sick and people don't have to be afraid of me, and hopefully that will help to calm things down. I think that, in combination with the police telling to people that yes, I'm a foreigner, but I am not sick and I'm not here to bring any virus, and me staying completely inside without anybody seeing me, I hope that combination will calm things down. This is day number 8. Latest updates. Last night the mayor did come here, introduced himself, and he apologized for the people in town that are afraid of me or angry or whatever. And he told me that he wanted me to feel welcome here. So that was very friendly, very nice of him. I hope it works. And then this morning I received a phone call from the Dutch embassy in the Netherlands, I think it was. So the Netherlands is now working really hard to help Dutch people all around the world to get back to the Netherlands. I don't know what to do with the no. Honestly, I don't know. I cannot extend the temporary import permit at this moment. And I don't know if I will be able to do that. And if I don't do that, and I'm not back here in Peru in time before it expires, I run the risk that I lose the no and they confiscate her. I don't know if they'll make an exception because the corona situation, I have no idea. It's a risk, and that's why I don't take it lightly, just leaving the no behind, because that means that I might lose her. But I feel like I don't really have another option anymore. I just don't really feel safe to be here now as a foreigner. Just got another visit of the police here. Again, knock on the door, police. I couldn't really understand why they came, but the bottom line was that there's still a lot of people worried, and now the police was getting phone calls from Puno about me, and people calling, and everybody's worried, and I don't know. Seems like things still haven't calmed down. Although now I think these were actually, again, authorities that were worried that I am infected or something like that. Police also apologized, and they said, we are so sorry that this is happening, and we're here to protect you and everything like that. So that was quite nice. But the problem is that, again, to police officers in front of the door, there are still people on the streets who see that. So that will just, again, kind of confirm to everybody that there's something wrong with me. So, yeah. Day number 9. I calculated, and I've now spent more than 200 hours in this small room. There is just no way of telling how the coming months are going to be like in South America or in Central America, North America. It's just crisis everywhere. So the delight of today is that it is gorgeous, gorgeous weather. So I thought I'm gonna do laundry. So my laundry's over there. I'm doing laundry the classic way with one of these special soap bar things. Anyway, and then I realized that you can barely walk here because it's so overgrown. See? So I thought I'm gonna do some work in the garden. I love gardening, and this garden looks like it can use a little bit of work. So Look, I've created a path so you can now easily access the laundry. And I've put these rocks here so you can walk all the way here until here. Ta-ta! This is day number 10. Yesterday the police came again to check up on me. Other than that, it's been quiet. I'm just waiting for news from the embassy about a flight out of Peru. That's all, and just trying to entertain myself, just like millions and millions of you all around the world who have to do the same thing. Okay, start the lesson.
This is Unit 10 of Pimsleur's Spanish. You just heard,
¿Qué método más práctico?
which means how practical.
Diga,
They are for an English course that I'm going to teach.
Son para un curso de inglés que voy a enseñar.
Son para un curso de inglés que voy a enseñar.
You'll have to take it soon.
Tendrá que tomarlo pronto.
tendrá que tomarlo pronto. Contesta él.
You'll have to take it on Thursday.
Tendrá que tomarlo el jueves.
Tendrá que tomarlo el jueves.
This is day number 11. So I will start with the good news. It is now confirmed that 2 planes from the Royal Dutch Airlines are coming to Lima to pick up Dutch people. There are more than 600 Dutch people stuck in Peru and 19,000 stuck all over the world, which they're all trying to get back. So that's a massive operation, obviously. They still don't know the dates for these planes, and I still don't know whether I'll be on them. I surely do hope that they're not leaving me behind here. Yesterday got another visit from, this time it was the governor of the province around here, that came to check up on the foreigner in town. I'm not going on the street, so the owner of the guest house, he's now out to buy me some water and some shampoo and some more internet. So I am really super lucky that I can go outside here, and they have here the driveway and then a little bit of the garden, so I can be outside here without being seen by anybody. So I try to walk for 2 hours per day. That means that I am in that room for 22 hours, and then 2 hours I'm just trying to do some exercise here and get some fresh air. This is day number 12. Yesterday my latest video came live that I arrive here, and I was reading through the comments and I saw a lot of people telling me that I should have done this or I should have done that, and things like, I told you weeks ago you should have gone home. And when I was reading this, I thought, you know what, I am going to say something about it. A lot of people have opinions about this, but they don't actually understand the full story. So I thought maybe I'll just talk about that a little bit. Because first of all, when people say go home or you should have gone home, they maybe don't realize that I don't have a home. I have my home country, which is the Netherlands, but I don't have a house there. I don't have a job there. I don't know, my motorbike is my life and my home and my job. My life is not in the Netherlands. So that is why, like a few weeks ago, when things were still kind of normal in South America, I didn't consider going back to the Netherlands at that moment, because what I was going to do there. And of course, I have places to stay in the Netherlands, but here I also have places to stay. A place to stay is not the same as a home. Also, a few weeks ago, it didn't make any sense to me trying to get back to the Netherlands because Europe is the epicenter of the outbreak. Whereas here in South America, there was still nothing going on. So at that moment, I was like, it just seemed a bit counterintuitive to go back to the place where it's really, really bad. But most of all, I think what people don't realize is that I am with a motorcycle, and having a motorcycle on a temporary import permit, that has big consequences. So legally, I am not even allowed to leave the country while my motorcycle is in this country on temporary import permit. So it's not a matter of just book a flight and get out of here. It's just not so easy like that. So legally, I'm not even allowed to leave. What I need to do is then suspend that temporary import permit. But that is not a process which I arrange in a few hours. So when I was in Bolivia, in La Paz, things looked absolutely normal. Like there was nothing going on there. And then suddenly I heard, okay, from tonight on, there will be no more international flights. So for me, getting out of Bolivia by flight and leaving my bike behind like that, not an option, right? So I thought, okay, I crossed the border into Peru at that moment in time, because things happened really fast with the crisis. So at that time, it looked like Peru was probably going to close the borders, but there was no talk about going on a total lockdown. At that time, the only countries which had total lockdowns were China and Italy, which were really, really bad. But in the rest of Europe, things were just, everything was open, even though the crisis was a lot worse than in South America. So at that time, I had no indications that Peru was going to be one of the first countries that would go on this hectic lockdown. So I thought, if I'm in Peru, then I have 2 months to just travel around. And I was hoping that in 2 months' time, the border with Ecuador was going to open again. I don't think we should kid ourselves that anybody knew only a few weeks ago how fast this would go and how the entire world would change so rapidly and in a way that nobody would ever thought it could or it would. And then when I heard that Peru was going on a lockdown, I heard that when I was on the island, and I arrived in Puno at 3 in the afternoon. So I only had an afternoon to find a place to stay. And at that time I thought, I'll just sit it out in Peru, because there is no point of me going back to the Netherlands. Also because if I have to bring my bike with me, there's also a lot of cost involved. Me flying to the Netherlands, flying back, shipping my bike to the Netherlands, shipping it back. These are thousands of euros. So there's a lot of financial play in there as well. So at that moment I thought, I'll just sit it out in Peru. What else can I do, right? And the situation only really changed for me when I realized that being a foreigner became a thing and became a problem, and hotels are not taking in foreigners anymore. So I have no places to stay anymore. People are angry or are scared of me. So that is the only reason why I decided, okay, now I have to try to get out. But yeah, even then I think it's clear from the past days, it's just really hard to get out because the country just one moment to the other completely locked down, and it's very hard to move. So I guess it's always easy to say to other people, you should have done this, you should have done that. But the situation, this is something that has never happened before in the world in this way. This is day number 13. There's absolutely no news. I haven't heard from the embassy for 2 days now. So the delight of today is that even though it's day 13 of the lockdown, it is in fact day 14 that I am here staying in this guest house, and neither one of us got sick. So we decided to celebrate, and we're gonna have a barbecue. Look. Hola. Hola. Oh.
Está húmedo. Fósforo está húmedo.
So I'm now on barbecue guard. It took about 15 minutes before we got it going, but now it's fire's going. So today's barbecue is going to be a oveja. No, ¿cómo se llama el carne?
Oveja, cordero.
Cordero, which is sheep, I think. lamb. So I'm excited. That's kind of special around here because so far all the meat that I get here, it is all alpaca meat that we eat here.
Pastel de tallarín,
Con pastel de
tallarín
tallarín
y camote al horno.
y camote al horno. I think it's gonna be a feast of a meal, so I'm super excited.
Poquito.
Ooh.
Mostaza.
Look at this amazing meal. I cannot wait to start eating this. This is day number 14. Yesterday afternoon and last night and this morning it's been a little bit of an emotional roller coaster, I think I can say. Yesterday started as a really good day with the barbecue, and then I got some very good news from the embassy. They said that I am booked on the second flight back to the Netherlands. So they said, okay, we will give you permission. We will arrange the permission for you to drive to Lima to catch that flight. So I was over the moon. I thought I can bring Dano with me. And then from Lima, I can sort out things for Dano. I cannot do that here. So that was super good news. I was super happy. And then like at 9 o'clock at night, I got a phone call from the embassy again. And they said, we cannot give you permission to drive to Lima because Peru is in a state of emergency, and that means there's a lot of military on the way and civilians lose some of their rights, and if something happens with me along the way or I get arrested by the military, my embassy cannot do anything for me. So they said, for your own safety, you're not allowed to drive your motorcycle to Lima yourself. So the only way I can do it now is I have to try to arrange a truck to take me and Dano. And there's a couple of issues with that. The first is that it's very hard to find people that want to be close to me nowadays because I look European and everybody is afraid. Second problem is that I ran out of cash almost entirely. There is no ATM here in Lampa, and I've already been here for 2 weeks now, paying the guest house and food and stuff like that, and I have no way to get money, so I also cannot even pay for the transport at this moment. And yeah, it will take 2 days at least as well with the truck. I need to get the permission for the truck to be on the road. All the provinces of Peru internally are completely locked down as well, so the province borders are locked. And now I have this time pressure that I have to make it to Lima before this flight. So it's a little bit stressful. Also because if I miss that flight, then I have no idea when I'll be able to get out of this country. All commercial flights are suspended for a very long time. Obviously the lockdown was also extended. That already happened some time ago, as expected. So they extended the lockdown until the 12th of April. That's why it's so hard to get to Lima, of course, because everything is still on lockdown. Alright, it is now 10:10 at night. I spent the entire morning trying to find a car. Juan helped me, absolute legend. We found a car. It's kind of a pickup truck which can take me and Dano to Lima. And then the embassy called, and first they said that it is not possible because the Peruvian authorities are giving authorization for people to move but not for vehicles. And I was like, but Dano will be like luggage. She will be like on the back of the pickup truck. Like, what is the problem? And I was like, I'm not gonna leave her behind, you know. If I leave Dano behind here, I think I'll never see her again, you know. That's just giving up on my motorcycle, and I just refuse it. I refuse to leave her behind. And then they came back with, okay, we're gonna do it. We're just gonna bring Dano. Maybe we'll run into problems. I have no idea. At least we got the permission. I just got it now, like 10 o'clock. We got permission to go tomorrow morning. So I have a guy, I have a car, and he's going to drive me all the way to Lima, which is 1,275 kilometers from here. It's far. It's a 2-day drive. I cannot do it in 1 day. And they also put the evening clock earlier. So now you are not even allowed to be on the streets after 6 anymore. And that is like, you'll be arrested if you are. So our travel hours are limited, and we have 1,275 kilometers to cover. What an emotional roller coaster, honestly. I was just going up and down. Yes, I can go. No, I can't. Yes, there's a solution. There's a problem. There's a solution. There's a problem. Oh man. So I'm going to catch some sleep now, because tomorrow morning at 6 in the morning the guy is supposed to be here with the car, and then we're gonna load up Dano and then quickly hit the road before the curfew starts. So I am going to sleep now.
Nos vamos hasta Lima para repatriar a la señorita.